97.3 ESPN presents The Sports Bash with Mike Gill. It's time for Football at 4 with Adam Caplan, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast.
I give my heart and soul to this franchise, as so many of us do.
Now live, this is Football at 4.
Football at 4 is powered by the Inside the Birds podcast. It's brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Adam Caplan from the Inside the Birds podcast, InsideTheBirds.com, which you can get on all podcasting platforms, is here. And, hey, first week of Eagles training camp is in the books. Some storylines, including Jihaad Campbell, the first-round pick, his first action out there. And Vic Fangio did speak and said, yeah, it was good to have him out there. Is it a surprise that he was out there? Let's bring in Adam Caplan now for today's Football at 4, as the Eagles have practiced twice so far this week. A little walkthrough today. They will practice tomorrow. They'll be off on Sunday. But are we surprised that Campbell was out on the field? They had said sometime in August. Well, by my watch here, Adam, it is July 25th. That's before August.
Yeah, Mike, good to be with you. Yeah, and that, by the way, my welcome music is, of course, with Hulk Hogan passing away, Mike. So I know you're a big wrestling guy like I am. So Terry Bollea passes away at 71 years old yesterday, so we just wanted to mention that as we go through here. So, yeah, let's get back to Jihaad Campbell, right? So Jihaad Campbell, Mike, was at least a few weeks ahead of schedule. That's great that he's on the field, and he's already running with the second team. It's not like they had a lot of inside backers. Nakobe Dean, obviously going to be out a while. With Campbell being able to practice, they have just 6 inside backers, and 2 of them are undrafted free agents. So Dallas Gant, last year undrafted free agent, Lance Dixon. This one, they're not really in the rotation yet. So, yeah, Campbell's already getting reps. Yeah, I'm definitely surprised. It's a good injury note from Fangio because he didn't know it until recently, as I understand it. So, yeah, now we'll talk in the segment about Campbell's role, potential role, and everything that goes along with it. But that's a big story, Mike, for training camp. None of us were expecting it.
Right, the fact that he is out there, can he now, because he got out there to start training camp, how does that factor in his week 1 availability against the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday night?
Now, the question, Mike, isn't whether he's going to be available. That's already been answered, Mike. Now, the question is, what's going to be his role? Because he missed their entire offseason program. I watched him take mental reps. He's being cross-trained a little bit with the edge group, but he's going to be an inside linebacker for now. The question is, Mike, and we're going to learn a lot more once they should be in pads at some time next week. Now, you have to – the acclimation period is 5 practices. You cannot have contact through 5 practices. But sometime late next week, if they choose to, they could be in pads. And that's when you're really going to know exactly where he's at. If he's in pads, Mike, it's not a question even right now that he's going to be ready for week 1. And we talked about this on Inside the Birds recently, even before we knew he'd be ready to start practicing. Once he got cleared, it's how far behind is he going to be from a mental standpoint? Because remember, Mike, he's relatively new to inside backer. You remember he went to Alabama as edge rusher. So he's only been really doing this position 3 years. So you can't just assume like he's going to pull off a Zach Bonds type of situation. We know he's a first-round pick. He's got to play if he's a first-round pick. If they think he's absolutely ready to go, be a starter week 1, Mike, there won't be much of a discussion. He'll be starting. That's the way it works. You don't hold players back. Do you remember the talk last summer when Quinyon Mitchell was running with the threes? You might remember what I told you. I said, Mike, if he's ready to start, he's going to start week 1. There will be not much of a discussion internally. First-round picks start if they're ready to play.
Yeah, and I guess, one thing with Jihaad Campbell was, is he just an inside linebacker? Is he a guy that they could deploy all over the field? I guess now that he is on the field for training camp, we can start finding that out sooner than later.
I know Fangio said, well, it depends on other players. I would say this. Something we've talked about Inside the Birds over years is when we talk to coaches around the National Football League, they love inside backers who can rush, and Campbell can rush. You could line him up as a joker, which means a movable player on defense. So Jim Johnson do this, the late, great Jim Johnson. You can line him as an edge player. You could rush him from an inside standpoint, Mike. There's a lot you can do with him. And you don't find inside backers built like this. So we'll learn a little bit more once he gets cleared for contact. We assume he is already, but we'll learn for sure next week once they go into pads. I'm interested to see, Mike. Now, part of it we have to understand because of the missed time in the off season. He's behind in terms of being on the field and learning. So maybe they don't give him the kitchen sink right now. Maybe they don't give him a ton. They have to build up his learning process. And that's coming, Mike. That's certainly going to come every day he practices. But when I'm there tomorrow, Mike, and that practice is at 10 a.m. at NovaCare, in the heat, by the way, it's going to be a scorcher this weekend. I'm going to see, Mike, we're only 3 practices in tomorrow. I look forward to seeing how they actually use him. And that could be coming. They could do more with him.
Yeah, and they did say Vic Fangio was asked on, what's today, Friday. He was asked on Thursday. He was seen working out with Jeremiah Washburn, who is the defensive end outside linebacker, kind of the edge rush coach. So I guess that gives you a little insight that maybe they want to kind of use him in that role as well. I definitely think that's an emerging story that would be interesting. And then there's the other guys, Adam, because Nakobe Dean, who we'll get to in just a moment here, if he's not ready to go, Jeremiah Troder's role with this team, is he in the mix to start there? Or do they look at him more of a backup guy?
Well, here's the thing. Right now, Troder is ahead of Campbell. But what I always tell people, you chart everything. You read into nothing. You wait till the situation plays itself out. Wait at least a week, and then we'll make a little bit more of a judgment or an evaluation. But Troder right now is running with ones because he's been there. This is the second year of the defense. This is Campbell's first he's had his first practices in this scheme. So we have to let this thing roll a little bit, Mike, and just see. But let's not forget, Mike, and this does matter. It matters really a lot to the front office. Trotter's a 5th-round pick. Campbell's a 1st. Do the math. If Campbell's ready week 1 to start, he's going to start. That's just the way it works, whether fans want to accept it or not. I've covered this business 27 years. I've learned the hard way thinking, what I see early might tell me what's going to happen. Not really. You got to let the situation play out, and we'll get to Smile Mon, and also it's very intriguing. But Campbell's so much bigger physically than Troder. Trotter's really smart, instinctive, and that does matter. But Campbell's a 1st-round pick, way bigger physically. He's got better versatility. He's got more to him, but Campbell's got to prove it first. That's where we are with Campbell right now.
Okay, so you mentioned Mondin. What is his role, if any, on this team? Is he a guy? Do you think he makes the team, number one, I guess?
He's making it, yeah. That's a lock that'll make it. He's a 5th-round pick. Howie doesn't he rarely, I'd have to go back, when he had personnel control. The first year Howie had full personnel control would be 2016. He had shared control with Chip Kelly. Starting 16, he's had it ever since. I'd have to look if he's ever cut a 5th-round pick after his first training camp, but it's highly unlikely that Mondin would be cut no matter how he performs. But the thing is, he's got better length. He's a little bit better athlete than Trot Jr. I know Trot Jr., we put this out last year, was doing really well in practice, in training, in the regular season, Mike, in their regular season practices. But this is a big camp for him. This is his 2nd year with the club. Mondin's a rookie. He's got good length, national champion, and there's some good things you like about him. Now, he's another guy, the word I heard on Mondin is why he dropped to the 5th. His frame is a little bit wiry. He needs to put a little bit of weight on him, which is fine. He probably, depending on who you spoke to, could have gone in the 4th round. Eagles think they obviously got a good value with him in the 5th. I'm not sure about his injury history, but the question for him would be, let's say week 1, right? It's Vaughn, it's Campbell, it's Trot Jr. He would dress if they dress 4 inside backers to me. That's probably where this is headed right now. But again, we've only had 2 practices. Who knows what? You can't rule out Mondin moving way up. Again, we're way too early, but he shouldn't be anything worse than their 4th inside backer this season.
All right, then there's the starter, who is Nakobe Dean. What happens to him when he is cleared later this season? I think this one is going to be I'm interested to see what your answer is here, because this was not it's not like he's coming back from a hamstring injury or a broken leg. This is a pretty gruesome major injury. So,
Mike, torn patella tendon was probably, when I first started in the Covering League, my first full year was 2000, was not only a season ender. Some guys simply just come back from it. Or B, they were never the same. And it's really a year and a half 2-year process to feel relatively normal. The typical rehab is 7 to 9 months, not 5 to 6 for an ACL. It's longer. We've had former head athletic or assistant athletic trainers on to talk about this injury. It's better. The medical science has improved the last couple of decades, but it's a tough deal. Remember, Dean had surgery, I believe, in February, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around that area. It's just tough, Mike. I know he looks great, but we told people last year, we kind of laughed when Sidney Brown looked good running. Some of the reporters who didn't know any better, bloggers, they would get the Eagles practice. Oh, boy, looks like he'll be ready for the season. No, folks. He's running in a straight line. He's not allowed to practice. Just relax a little bit. It's nice that he's able to run. Sidney Brown was not even close to being ready for the start of the season, as we all would learn. So now, let's say he's back, Mike, week 4 or 5. In terms of him getting the starting job back, it comes down to this. A, what does he look like? Is he 50% of what he once was? If he's able to play football, that's one thing. But is he able to start a game? Is he able to play 65 to 70% of snaps? They got to get through that. They don't know what this looks like. And that's the problem. Like, I know Fangio's kind of sort of hinted that he'll get his job back. Well, it's easy to say in the offseason, Mike. It's a lot harder to say 5 or 6 months from there. Like, we got to understand that. We got a long way to go here for Nakobe Dean. It's just a shame because he was playing lights out. Was he a Pro Bowler? I can't even remember. I don't remember what his situation was, Mike.
Nakobe Dean, I'll have to look that one. I don't think he made the Pro Bowl last year, but I thought Fangio, certainly, Fangio's truth serum. You just ask him questions, he gives you the real answers.
Yep.
And he was asked, are they underestimating when he can come back? He says, I don't think so. They asked, do you think he'll be around to start the season? And he said, to start the season, no, he's not going to be around for the start of the season. So then, now you're giving Campbell a chance to get the snaps. And once Campbell gets on the field, I would imagine, Adam, your hope is that he plays well enough that he doesn't come off the field.
100% right, Mike. You said it very well. When it was verboten, if a guy got hurt, he get his job back. Coaches don't care anymore. They're trying to win. I mean, it would have to be a discussion with Howie. It's like it would be a discussion with Sirianni. It would be a discussion with Bobby King, who coaches the inside backers, Fangio, obviously, and they'd make a decision. But they defer to Vic, who they think is the better option. One thing about Fangio is, right, and I know talking to people over the years who work with him in front offices, Vic is headstrong. He will stand up to, like, he'll tell you what he thinks. And if he has to fight for himself, he'll do that, like if he doesn't agree with the general manager. So on your question and your point, Mike, which is well taken, if Campbell's playing lights out, they're not taking him out. It's just, I know the way this is. Mm-hmm. Vic was very diplomatic in the spring about it. He's nice about it, but, Mike, you just nailed it. In all sports, you can lose your job. It's just the way it is. And again,
especially to a number 1 overall. I mean, not a number 1 overall.
He's a first round pick. He wasn't the first pick overall, but he's a first round pick.
Right.
So yeah, absolutely, Mike. You got it. I have nothing else to add because you nailed it.
All right, Adam Caplan, everybody. A look at Jihaad Campbell, which was really one of the big stories. I mean, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. We'll look more at that next week as we'll see if over the weekend those stories continue to materialize. But Campbell being on the field, probably one of the best stories to
big
see.
Story, Mike.
Yes, big time to get him out there to start. And, of course, Football at 4. We'll have it all next week right here on the Sports Best. Check out the Inside the Birds podcast on all podcasting platforms for more on Eagles training camp. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.